If you want to know which palette I'll be panning in 2021, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and welcome back to HMM Makeup, or if it's your first time, welcome. Happy to have you. I am very excited to announce a few things. The Pan That palette for 2021, and also the starting information so that you can follow along. Now, I have been panning the Smashbox Matte Exposure for over 2 years now, and it's looking a little beat up, and it was time for a companion. So I asked everyone who wanted to participate which one of 9 palettes that I was considering would they vote for. And I gave 3 choices. So give me your first choice, your number 1 place, your second, and your third. The number 1 place would get 3 points, the second place would get 2 points, and your third pick would get 1 point. But the chances are that at least one of the 3 that you would pick would likely end up in the top, which is what I figured anyway. And it's just nice. It's nice to know that you have a pick of something that that wins out. So anyway, it did seem to turn out that way for most people, and we had a total of 23 people voting for the 9 palettes, and there was such a clear winner, it was not even close. So I have my paper here with all of the results, and I will put that right here for you as well. So what you'll see is that the Buxom Suede Seduction outpaced all the other palettes by a factor of over 3 times. That's insane to me. So it obviously was the clear choice for a lot of people. So 53 points for Buxom Suede Seduction. The next one down was the Too Faced Just Peachy. And I want to come back to that palette in a little bit. It's a beautiful palette. Let me just show you as we go. So the clear winner was Buxom. And I think mostly because there were so many light colors compared to the Smashbox Matte Exposure. I've finished most of the light colors in that palette. And so here's the Smashbox Matte Exposure. So I only have a couple of lighter shades here left to go. Everything else is deeper. So it's a good companion to this one. And then the third on the list was the Just Peachy, which looks like this. And I can see why this one was third as well, because there's quite a bit on this half of the palette that would definitely be complementary to the Smashbox Matte Exposure. Everyone was so kind in selecting palettes that would really help me out. And I thought that was endearing. I really appreciate the thoughtfulness of the selections and the commentary along with the selections. It was really sweet, really sweet. I appreciate it. All right, so that was Just Peachy. Then, after the Just Peachy, we had the Too Faced Chocolate Bar. Okay, I lost sight of it for a second for some reason. So this one was next after the Just Peachy. So there was a middle section that was big on Too Faced as far as scoring. I really thought that the chocolate bar was going to be more popular, I will admit. Next up was the KVD Metal Matte Mini, which is this one right here. And I did not give you all the scoring. So the Too Faced Chocolate Bar was 17, but you have it on the screen. 17, Too Faced Chocolate Bar was 12, the Metal Matte was 11, and then we had one more in the double digits, which was the Tartlet in Bloom, which is this one right here. I really thought more folks were going to go for this one. I really did. It appeared a lot as a third option in the 3 that people were selecting, and it was only getting 1 point, and I think that's why it was affected quite a bit. And then we're into the single digits. So we have the Ciate Chloe Morello 2. This one got 9 points. And then we have the MAC Holiday that got 1 point less at 8 points. And this is what it looks like. It has a brush in it. And then finally, shocker of all shockers, the Glitter Storm only got 5 points. I think it's just because it's such a small palette. But that, I could be wrong. But that is what that one looks like. So once again, a clear winner by far is definitely the Suede Seduction. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to continue using the Smashbox Matte Exposure like crazy. I'm wearing it right now. Actually, most of my look is the Smashbox Matte Exposure when it comes to eyes. I'll show you what I've got. I feel like I'm all over the place. If that feels the same to you, my apologies. All right, so today I have this one, which is Sumatra. That's my brows. And then I have this one, which is Drizzle, in my crease. And I also have this one, which is Blackberry, on my outer lid to center lid, crease, and my lower lash line, along with a liner from Urban Decay called Empire. And then I decided to zhuzh it up with an Inglot loose duochrome pigment from Steph, my Irish buddy, YouTube buddy. She sent me these couple of Inglot pigments that she wasn't using, and I think that that just finishes up the look, and I think it looks great. Now, my brow bone is already featuring the Buxom Suede Seduction because I now have, with that palette, a brow bone highlight, and I think it looks pretty good, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm already using the pen, that palette that you've identified, and obviously I'm going to continue to play with this one with a focus on finishing these two, of course. This one's going to be no brainer, and then I'm going to be wearing an awful lot of purple and grays this year because the Buxom has a couple of grays, and I'm so thankful for the number of shadows in the Buxom Suede Seduction that are light in nature, which I did mention earlier as well. I think out of all of them, the one that's going to be a bit challenging for me may very well be the peachy color. I think everything else I've got quite a handle on. Now, if by chance I end up finishing the deep colors in the Smashbox Matte Exposure, they take forever to finish, but let's just say that I do. Based on the votes, this was second place. So what I'm going to do is, if I run out of deep shadows with a Smashbox Matte Exposure, I will start going into this palette for, for this one, and these two. With a focus on the cool brown, warm brown, and then these guys right here. So that will be where I will move to if I need deeper shadows on the regular and I don't want to just think about a palette every time. That will be my replacement for the deep tones in the Smashbox Matte Exposure. Okay, that's everything that I plan to do based on your feedback in voting for the Pan That Palette. I was scared. I put my destiny in your hands, and you were so helpful with your selections. I really felt that well over half of the folks who voted were considering what they would want to have as a combination that was reasonable to Pan, and some folks were being very strategic about what they were suggesting that I do, and how they explaining how they voted, and I just thought that was just, it is such a beautiful beauty community here on YouTube, and I am always so thankful and appreciative for just how nice everyone is. For the most part, it's beautiful, and I'm making a lot of friends on this platform, and I'm truly grateful. Now we need to get to the weights. So I did weigh the Smashbox Matte Exposure without the brush, so it is all on its own. And it weighs in at, I'll put it on the screen, it weighs in at 174.15. 174.15. So that is the starting weight for this palette. And I figure there are 1, 2, 3, for 5. I'm going to say there's about 5 more grams of product left in this palette, and then it is done. And now the Buxom has apparently 1.4 grams per shadow, and we are talking about 6 shadows. So 8.4 grams is what there should be-ish in this palette, because it hasn't been used a whole lot. So that means I'm going to have quite a while with it. You know what? I should really show them always right side up. I don't know why. I show them upside down all the time. Now, I did weigh this one again without the brush, and I'm actually going to remove this brush and put it in my little travel palette area, because I think it's just going to be annoying all the time, and I'm not going to weigh the palettes with the brushes in. There we go, it's sorted away. And I did weigh this palette for its debut, and it came in at 122.79. And together, as a combined, it is 296.94 for both palettes weighed at the same time. So I'm going to be weighing them combined and also weighing them separately. And that's really going to tell me which palette I'm using more of in a given month by weighing them separately, and then also just seeing what the overall needle movement has been with both of them combined. I think a nice big round number is nice, and starting just under 300 is grams of total, the palettes and the shadows is a nice hefty number to start off with, and hopefully I'll be seeing it right along with you going down throughout the year. So based on what I did last year, which was a Pan That Palette update, very often it was every 2 months or so in previous years, and this year I was focusing on the Smashbox Matte Exposure a lot, and I was pretty much doing an update monthly. Not every month, but a lot of months I was giving an update, and I have a feeling, especially since I have more options now again, that I think I'm going to probably be doing monthly updates throughout the year as well, if you're kind of wondering when to expect them. And the Pan That Palette updates don't really come at the beginning or end of the month, because there's so many other updates that are beginning or end of the month. I'm just going to try to update you about every month ish, and put them in where it makes sense, as opposed to having a set schedule, because I just find that end or beginning of a month is just too crazy. There's just too many updates, and at one point there are other things other than YouTube that need tending to, and I can't be in front of the camera all the time. Although there have been a lot of videos in December. I promised a video a day, and some days I did not post, but I sure had extra videos before or extra videos after. I'll put the number of videos total for the year on the screen, including this one, if you're curious to know how many I published in December. It was a lot. It was a lot. Now, to wrap it up, I just want to say again a huge thank you to everyone who participated, and also for the lovely comments and sharing your thought process on why you picked what you picked. It was lovely, and it definitely makes me want to put it out to our little community here and ask next year again when I'm ready to take the leap and add another palette to my panning regimen. So it was a lovely experience. I was nervous, I won't lie, and you made it, frankly, painless. With that, I will say thank you so much for watching, well, participating and watching, of course, the outcome. I appreciate it. I appreciate it in every video, and of course I appreciate it a whole lot today. And I do look forward to seeing you in the next video and the next Pan That Palette update. For now, take care, and I hope the start of your new year of 2021 brings you everything you desire, including a return to normalcy. Bye now.